Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joanna here again. Today's tutorial we are going to be making this simple, beautiful African print top. Let's get straight to the tutorial. So these are the materials that I'll be using for this tutorial. I have 2 yards of African print fabric. I have a measuring tape. I have a piece of chalk and then a pair of scissors. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this up to cut the front and then the back pieces for the top. Now to be able to do that, divide your bust circumference by 4. Then I'll go ahead and add 1 inch for easiness. You can add 1.5, 2 inches, however you want it to look on you. So I added 1 inch for easiness and plus 2 inches sewing allowance. So on fold we had 11 inches on fold because the bust is 32 inches. The bust circumference is 32 inches divided by 4 plus 1 inch for easiness and 2 inches for sewing allowance. So that makes it 11. The 32 divided by 4 gives us 8 inches. You understand? Okay, so that is it for the width or the fold. Let's get to the length of the top. Now, the length is 24 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches for the folding at the hem of the top and then the joining of the shoulders of the top. So I'll go ahead and then mark that out and straighten the line up before cutting it out. I added 2 inches to the length of the top. I added 2 inches to the length of the top before cutting it out. So this is it after cutting it out. I'm going to use it to cut the back piece as well. And the back piece is as the same as the front piece because this doesn't have a zipper and it is a loose top. Okay, so I'll use the first one or the front piece to cut the back piece just as I've placed it on the new fold that I made. I'm making sure that it is equal before I cut it out as well. Hey guys, please if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and please like this tutorial and to share to your friends and family. I'll be grateful if you leave a comment if you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Okay, so we now have both the front and then the back pieces. Now we are going to be cutting the we are going to be marking the shoulder. So the shoulder is the cross back, which is 16 inches divided by 2. That's what I just marked. I'm going to go down to the chest line, which is 8 inches from the shoulder. The chest line, which is 8 inches from the shoulder. And then I'll go to the bust point, which is 10 inches like this. From the shoulder to the chest line is 8 inches and then to the bust line is 10 inches. Now to achieve your chest line, divide your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Okay, for the neckline width, I went in by 3.5 inches for both the back and then the front piece. 3.5 inches. Then I came down for the back piece, 1.5 inch, as you can see me marking like this. This is going to be for the back piece. Then I gave it a curve. Now, I'm going to go down from the shoulder line 1 inch like this, then connect it to the neckline for the shoulder slope like this. Now I'm going to divide the armhole depth by 2. I'll find the midpoints like this. Then I'll come in 1/2 inch. Then I'll give it a curve to connect it to the chest line like this. Okay, so that's the armhole we just achieved. So now I'll divide the bust circumference by 4. I'll mark it. I'll add a 1 inch for easiness. So as you can see, we have exactly the allowance left. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to shape this out this loose and simple top. So I'm going to leave it as it is. Then I'm going to cut out the neckline for the back piece and then the armhole and the shoulder slope. We'll later cut the the neckline for the front piece. Okay, so I'll take the down piece of the top aside for the back piece. Then I'll use the one we have the markings on for the front piece to be able to cut the neck depth. So from the shoulder point like this, I'm going to go down 7 inches. I'm going to go down 7 inches like this. Then I'm going to give it a curve to the 7-inch point that we've just marked like this. As you can see, I curved it a little bit. Then I'm going to cut this out like this. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and then cut this into two. Cut the front piece into two like this. So this is it. This is how it turned out. So I'm going to place the back piece on top of it to join the shoulders. I'm going to take it to the same machine and then join the shoulders with half of an inch seam allowance. Let's do that and come back. Okay guys, so this is how it came out after joining the shoulders. Now I'm going to put this aside and then work on the sleeves. Before then, I will come back to measure the armhole on the top to get the armhole on the sleeve. So these are the two pieces for the sleeves. Now the sleeve unfold measures measures by dividing your round sleeve circumference, which is 12 by 2. Then I added 1 inch for easiness and then 1.5 for seam allowance. That is it for the weight. Now for the length, which is 6 inches, I added 2 inches for the hem of the sleeve and then half inch to join the armhole. So first of all, I'll fold up half inch like this and then I'll fold up again 1 inch, then flat iron it before I take it to the same machine to stitch it down. I will do same for the other side of the sleeve. Sorry, the other piece of the sleeve as well. Okay guys, so this is how it turned out after stitching down the sleeves. Now let's get to the armhole on the sleeves. Now, as I said earlier, I'll measure the armhole on the top to be able to mark that on the sleeve. Okay, so after laying the top down like this, I'll take my measuring tape and then place it at the shoulder. I'll place it at the shoulder and then measure around the armhole. So I will measure both armhole to make sure they are equal. Okay, so the measurement that you had after measuring the armholes, that is what you are going to use for the curve on the sleeve. So first of all, divide the sleeve circumference by 2. Then I added 1 inch for easiness. Then I added 1.5 or 1 inch for the seam allowance. I added 1 inch for the seam allowance. Then I'm going to place my index finger on the third measurement or the 3 inches. Then I'll give this a curve using the measurements we had on the armhole. So we had 9.5. So that's what I marked. Then I'll connect it to the sewing allowance as I just did. So I'll go ahead and then cut this out. Now I'll use the first sleeve to cut the second sleeve like so. Now I'll go ahead and then notch the top of the sleeve like this. Okay, so now that we've achieved the sleeves, I'm going to join it to the armhole of the top. So this is the top. I'll open it up like this on the right side of the fabric like this. Then I'll make sure to match the sleeves where we notch the center of the sleeve that we notch. Make sure the right side of the sleeve faces the right side of the top like this. Then match it to the seam line at the shoulder like this. The shoulder seam line like this. Match it with the notch of the center of the sleeve. Pin it down. Then you take it to the sewing machine to join it with half of an inch seam allowance. So now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine to join it with half of an inch seam allowance all the way around the armhole. I'll do the same for the other side of the armhole as well. Okay, so this is how it came out after joining the sleeve to the armhole. Alright, so this is the other side as well. Now, I'm going to be joining the size. I'm going to be joining the size of the top. Remember, we added 1 inch seam allowance on both sides of the dress. So I just mark that out like this. Now repeat the same for the other end as well. Look at how I've straightened the sleeve towards the side. This is how you're supposed to stitch it when it takes to the sewing machine. Don't curve the sleeve. Alright, so let's take the sewing machine and do justice to it. So guys, this is how it came out after joining the sides as well. So now I'm going to turn it to the right side of the top. I'll turn it to the right side of the fabric. Kindly hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel. Like this tutorial. Please do leave a comment if you enjoy watching this tutorial. And kindly share this tutorial. Okay, so turn it to the right side of the fabric. This is how it is. So we are now going to be joining the front cape on it. Okay, so I'll go ahead before we attach it. I'll go ahead and measure around the center of it. So this is the cape that we're going to be joining to the front part of the top. So for the weight, it is 2.5 inches, and then the weight is 2.5 inches, as you can see on fold. 2.5 inches on fold. Okay. Now, before we be able to know the length, you have to measure around the top, the center of the top. Okay, so as you're measuring, if you reach where the measurement on the tape finishes, just mark that part with a chalk, mark it, and then continue from there. Start measuring from there where you marked. Then you go ahead and add it to the measurement you had on the tape. So that is it. After measuring, I'm going to go ahead and then join the should I call it a band or the cape in the middle of the top. So this is how I'm going to join it. On the right side, I'll fold the band like this. Then I'm going to join it all round the center of the top. I'll join it with half of an inch seam allowance. So you can go ahead and pin this down before you take it to the sewing machine to avoid shifting. So like I said, you can go ahead and pin it all around, then take it to the sewing machine to join it with half of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so this is how it turned out after joining the band to the front part of the top. Okay, so turning it to the wrong side of the top like this. So this is it. This is how it looks like on the wrong side of the top. Okay, so we are now going to close the middle or the center of the top. Remember, the center is closed as shown in the picture. Okay, so I'm going to measure from where the neckline is. I'm going to come down from the neckline. I'm going to come down 7 inches like this. Where the neckline seam is, I'll come down. So that is where the joining of the center part is going to start from. So I'll use my chalk to illustrate that. So I'll be joining this with 1/4 inch all the way down. Okay guys, so this is how it turned out. This is how it turned out. Now, the depth of the neckline, it depends on how long or how low you want it. So guys, this is how it came out. Now I'm going to be joining the down part of the top. So I first of all folded in 1/2 inch, then I folded up 1 inch. I'll go ahead and then press it down and then take it to the same machine to join it all round. At this point, we had power cut, so I just have to do it like that. Okay guys, so this is how it came out um after stitching down the hem of the top. This is how the top came out. Very simple. If you enjoyed this tutorial up to now, please give me a heart in the comment section and share. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Stay tuned for more tutorials. Keep being amazing wherever you are. Stay blessed. Peace out. Bye.